All right, let's begin here. And we need to, first, I need to adjust the volume. I need to turn Will up. Because after a few weeks of really crisp, clear communication from Will, you went back to your normal. There was a couple weeks where you were really sucking on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're a big homophobe, you went back to pulled it back and you were quiet again.
But now I saw that one Florida weather lady used the condom on the mic, so now I'm back.
I can really get it in there. That's funny. I did see that today. And I've started off the podcast this way before with a mea culpa. And
Who's that?
Mary Culpa. And
Armadeus Culpus.
There's some times where I edit the podcast during the week, and then there's sometimes I wait till the weekend, and then there's even fewer times, but it happens where I'll edit it Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 weeks ago, was going to edit on a Sunday night again, and Michael got a little hurt in the tum-tum, and so... COVID diarrhea, and... Yes, my tummy was hurting.
Too much spicy milk.
I don't have ribs. I did not get the podcast out on time. And then what happened was, because I didn't publish it, like 2 days later, I was like, wait, I just never published it.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Was it worked on at all or no?
It was like 3/4 done, which doesn't take that long, but because we are so committed, and now we're on 118 episodes in a row, it's like I can't skip a week. So I don't call that skipping a week, because I just put out the 2 episodes. I didn't just wait and not put out the episode. I put out 2 at once.
Right.
I kept on our normal schedule, so I still call that not skipping a week, because really we haven't skipped a week.
And there's the whole process of how much information you can load, right? Per
month.
Yeah.
We're good on that, and everybody's good, but the worst...
Not one person complains.
And so, speaking of doing things that people didn't ask for.
Yeah.
Wait, did you think of one joke when I texted you?
I got some
premises.
If I go first,
what do you want to do?
I got some one-liner headlines, and then I can pass the mic to you.
Okay. Some ideas. Like, I wrote all these today, and then I just found out that Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband is filing for divorce. And that was like right before I came over. So
I feel like I should know more about her, and I don't. Just because the name comes up, and she's crazy, right?
She is crazy. She's stupid. The problem with, there's just so many stupid people. If they were crazy, at least you reason with them and you hear like interesting things. But some of the people now it's like Sarah Palin. It's like she ruined it for everybody, because it was like we let the floodgates open on, okay, we're going to put up with stupid. And it's like, let's put up with bad ideas first, and then we can move on to stupid and see how that goes. You know? If that doesn't work out...
It's like if what's his name? The guy with the boot on his head.
Buttigieg?
Not boot on his judge, boot on his head. The guy that always runs for president, and he wears a rubber boot on his head. And
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He says everyone in the country gets a horse. You know what I'm talking about?
No, this sounds like a cartoon. I thought you were saying something from like a comic or something.
No.
Comic strip.
Vermin Supreme. You know what? He runs for president every time.
Sorry, I've only spent like 1 year in the meme world.
It's not a meme. This is pre-meme.
I know, but it feels like something that is
Go to Wikipedia.
bounces around in the realm of meme. Vermin Supreme.
Yeah.
With Splinter and Shredder.
He's it doesn't say how many times he's ran for president. But he has some things he
Master
stands
Splinter
on.
is my only Vermin
Some
Supreme.
things he stands on is
I
a
will
law
pledge
requiring
myself to no other.
a law requiring people to brush their teeth. He's campaigned on the platform of zombie apocalypse awareness and also time travel research. He was also promised a free pony to every American.
Those sound like all great things. So I see in the near future we will elect a comedian or like a meme president. I mean, Donald Trump was pretty much the closest thing to that, but it'll happen. I mean, Ukraine, they got an actor, comedian for president. I think Iceland had a comedian for president a couple years ago.
Yeah.
We had a reality TV star for president.
He's run in every presidential election since 1992.
See? It's like I should know about him, but then again, it's a guy named Vermin Supreme with a boot on his head. And so it's definitely something you would know.
Vermin Supreme. Not to be confused with Laxton Superb.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
These are the news brought to you by the Bad Brothers podcast. Oh, they're both from the UK, I just realized. You hit record?
No, you got to say your thing. It's been so long, you forgot.
Did you hear? I wasn't there yet.
Oh.
Did you hear about this in the UK? A British woman's cancer returned after she stopped using magic mushrooms and cannabis.
After she stopped?
Yeah.
Okay.
Turns out the whole time she was on mushrooms and cannabis, she never actually went to the doctor. She now just realized that she still had it the whole time.
Yeah.
Little Prince George. You heard of him?
This is a British themed news. Were you on
the eldest child of William, Prince of Wales, and Catherine, Princess of... What is it? I cut off the edge of the article.
It's not Sussex. I thought that was Meghan Markle.
Anyway, he got in a little spat with his fellow classmate on the school playground.
I saw this one.
He said, "My daddy will be king. You better watch out."
Oh, I have accents in my jokes too.
And then the other boy whispered in his ear, "Long live the king."
Oh.
Right before he released his hands from the monkey bars.
The wildebeest trampoline.
And gave him seasons 1 through 8 of Game of Thrones to watch. And I'll pass it to you, Michael, in other news.
In other news, this is going to take a dark turn here. Speaking of, oh man, speaking of kids at school, 11 children died after a gunman opened fire at a school in Russia.
Whoa.
Russia beat us to space and, let's say, tied in the nuclear arms race. But nobody kills kids like we do. USA! USA! USA!
We the best.
We the best music. Another one. Speaking of being good at shooting things.
I was waiting to hear where that shooting happened.
I don't know. It was a headline. Of course, the U.S. can hit an asteroid flying 14,000 miles an hour through space. Mm-hmm. NASA's DART rocket hit the Dimorphos asteroid last Monday. Uh-oh, bad news. The asteroid was unarmed and black.
That's in your top 5 jokes of all time.
Oh, Dart will be put on paid leave.
They're always on paid.
I know. Like, oh, you get 3 years suspension before you. Kanye made a crazy post last week referencing Queen Elizabeth's death. He said, "London, I know how you feel. I lost my queen too." Did you see that?
Did he really?
I thought it was fake.
I didn't see
because
that.
the diarrhea one was fake, but not this one. This one was real. But he wasn't the only celebrity to put up a bizarre post.
Britney Spears.
David Blaine also said he lost his queen. No, it's in this orange. Magnus Carlsen. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. I've been following the drum.
He lost his queen to a guy stuffed with vibrating anal beads.
Is that what they're saying it was?
That was just one of the things they said that was a potential thing you could do.
He just puts his hand over the pieces and then whenever he's on the right one, it vibrates.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe we need to fill people in while we're talking about anal beads. Jerry Seinfeld said, "What's the deal with losing my queen? No, I'm hooking up with a human. B-movie streaming now." I can't do a Jerry Seinfeld
So you like
accent
jazz?
anymore. Anyways. With Roe v. Wade struck down, an Arizona judge has ruled that an abortion law from 1901 is in effect. The law says you're innocent if you can figure out how to do it with a wagon wheel.
1901. Ooh. Was Arizona even a state then?
Actually, I think it was before they became a state. The city of Houston is hosting another gun buyback event. Unlike last time, ghost guns are prohibited. This time they put Haley Joel Osment in charge.
I forgot who that was.
I see dead people. I know. So that one you got to put 2 and 2 together. You got to do some legwork on that one. That's okay.
I forgot who that was.
That's okay. That's okay.
Donny Osmond.
If you're watching football last weekend, you probably saw the Dolphins' weird safety dubbed the butt punt, when the punter kicked the ball off his teammate's backside and out of the end zone. Oof. No pun intended, end zone. Fewer people saw the resulting ass pass and titty touchback.
And then didn't San Francisco had the safety too, right?
Yes.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. Okay, that was the return of jokes.
That was
I feel
fun.
like...
And Arizona became a state in 1912 on Valentine's Day.
So, yeah, if you need to be filled in the chess world news, you have been following that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
When it comes up on Reddit, I click on it.
Yeah, so in the 5th grade, my Christian school, Longview Christian Academy, and now Academy sounds fancy, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. It was Longview Christian Academy. Who was my 5th grade teacher?
I don't know if there's anything fancy in Longview.
My math teacher was... Wait, that couldn't have been 5th grade. Must have been 6th grade. My teacher was Mrs. Schmunk. And my math teacher's name was Mrs. Maldonado. I'll remember that. That is when Sarah and Serena told on the podcast before they were going to do a co-handstand. They were going to do handstands in front of the class together in Miss Maldonado's math class. They went to do it there in the what's it called when you have the trailer at the portable. They went to do it on the left side of the portable in Mrs. Maldonado's math class. They both did their handstand, and probably they were probably wearing a Stussy or what's the other one back then? Stussy or
Gecko.
What was the other one? No, anyways, probably. And there's white
what was the
Stussy
LA
shirts.
one?
No, LA Gear.
LA Gear.
Anyway, their shirts both flipped up at the same time. of course, like duh. And neither were wearing a bra. And then the next, because they were soccer girls, they were thin soccer girls. But the next day, both of them came to school in bras, not in bras, but with bras under their shirts. It was just notable and noticeable. But anyway, at Longview Christian Academy, where that happened, I was in chess club for like 2 days, and I was not smart enough to be in chess club. And that's fine. No, neither was anybody. But chess is when I saw the Bobby Fischer movie.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a good movie.
Yep.
Good movie. And what I like about the chess world, what do you like about the chess world?
Rooks.
But, okay. What do you like about the game of chess? Okay, well, let's start there. What do you like about the game of chess? Rooks?
I didn't ever get into it as deep as like real chess players do with different, formations and strategies. Mine was more like the puzzle of which things can move different directions.
Yeah.
As opposed to a multi-move strategy.
Oh, yeah, because the chess players, they have to think like 20 moves ahead and stuff.
Like, oh, he's doing the Georgian strategy.
Yeah, and
it's different if you're playing white or black and all this stuff, and you're like studying games of the past.
That's funny that you said rooks, because I've been trying to talk to people about this if they have the same feelings, but I have like remember when
Queen's Gambit? That was fun.
Actually, I think this might have got deleted when we were talking about art and shapes and how things make you feel. Oh, maybe it made it in. But besides like the physical like attributes of being good at art, like, being able to draw well or something like that, or, being good, like hand-eye coordination, or good.
Technically good at something.
Yes. Being technically good at representing what you're seeing and stuff like that. There's something innate of like, how do people know what is good art versus bad art? And to me personally, there's something about physical feelings that you get, and maybe it's not synesthesia or whatever.
Like why a Picasso and not one of those guys that does the hyper realistic pencil drawings?
Or get this guy off TikTok, the guy who swings the paint can over the canvas.
Or just anyone that pours that just
annoying.
pours paint on the canvas and like has the layers and they blow it with a hairdryer or whatever.
Oh, I'm anti-Jackson Pollock, and I will say it right now. That is just like a phenomenon. That is like, he was like the original NFTs. It's just like hype beast.
Yeah.
And
what do they call
but media
that
media didn't move fast enough for people to be like, oh, you know what, this actually sucks.
Yeah.
So they'll still sell for bazillions of dollars. But no, I'm anti-Jackson Pollock. But when you said rooks, it's kind of funny because the pieces give you a feeling. And I can't really explain because, even pawns, they can move diagonal. King can move one space.
Right.
The knights, they move in the L shape.
Or sevens.
Or sevens, whatever. And the bishops, they move in a diagonal. Queen, all directions. But the rooks, straight lines.
Yes.
And they're a castle.
Right. And then there's some other thing. There's like a rook. You're allowed to do some rook something swap.
Yeah, I forget what that's called. But it's funny when you said rooks, because it's like the rook gives me a different feeling than any other piece on the board. And it's like, because it moves in a straight line, and maybe because it's always represented by a castle, it gives me, I can't really explain what a blocky, heavy feeling is. Does that make sense to you?
Was that your favorite piece?
I
I always felt like my favorite was the bishop.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but do you understand what I'm saying about physical feelings? Do you get Do you get like an internal feeling from pieces or something like? It doesn't have to be about chess. Can you relate that to anything?
I can't relate at this point.
Maybe
What's the feeling you feel?
Maybe I'm special.
You're a synesthist? Synesthist?
Yeah.
Synesthetes? There's just listening to Dr. Drew and William Montgomery talk about
synesthene.
Synesthai.
But
it's actually, I think it's what is it? Synesthesia. Then there's a synesthesis.
It's like, but I'm talking about that. The fact that it moves in straight lines, the fact that it's a castle, there's some sort of heavy, blocky, rigid.
It feels
feeling.
Good or no?
It's just the feeling.
Where do you feel it?
It's just sort of like an energy.
What's another example? And while you're thinking about that, while I was in Mexico,
I can't think of another example.
I saw
I'll
the
try to think of one.
exact chess board that Mom and Dad had with the pink granite. One was boob mugs and one was penis pipes on one side. No,
when you said boob mugs, I thought about that for so long because that is so funny.
No, remember the pink and
why
pink and tan?
If you remember
granite looking thing.
If you remember boob mugs, please put that in the comments. Please tell me Will and I are not the only ones because that was so funny.
What do you mean if they remember it?
It's just such a...
That I said it a couple weeks ago or
yes,
they've been to Mexico and seen them.
Exactly. Oh, that's pretty. And
is that a snowy Bethlehem? What
is the pink and gray?
Yeah, it was like a pink and white.
Yeah, that's still around, huh?
Yeah, like exact same carving, like hasn't changed.
Man, good times. Hope you're listening, Mom. Still around.
If you still have that.
I don't think they do.
I can go to Mexico and get you a new one.
It kept getting put away into other places and then...
Wasn't the vibe anymore. But that was like pre-crystals too.
Anyway, so... no, I was going to say about the chess drama and stuff. Mm-hmm. What I like about chess is it just has some really extreme like characters.
Yes.
Because there's all these people who are like prodigies. Mm-hmm. So there's all these people who are like world chess champions at 12 years old and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's official rankings of
there's
how
the
you
little kids that can like play 15 games at the same time and they're like 7.
Oh, I have a guy at work
and win.
I have a guy at work who can play like 10 games at once and win them all. And I think I told this on here before. At one company picnic, he played with his back to the board against another guy who used to win chess tournaments. And he played with his back to the board and beat him.
They were just doing at a picnic?
They were just doing it at freaking Titlow Park or wherever we were.
Oh, Titlow Beach.
No. What's the one by Point Defiance where you go down to the beach there?
Ruston?
Yeah, it's like called
Titlow's right here.
I know. It was funnier to say Titlow.
I don't know. Point Ruston.
Yeah, something down there. Yeah, we're just doing that. But yeah, so the people are these weird, like eccentric, or they're just like these computer people. And that was a thing a couple years ago. Magnus Carlsen actually beat this guy, but I forget what the guy's name is. I think he was Spanish or something. But Magnus Carlsen is one of these guys that was like a child prodigy kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's only like, I think he's still only like 32 or something like that. Maybe he's 34. But then the Spaniard guy who he's playing, he's known for being this like just computer. So then there's all these guys that can just absorb all this kind of crazy information. So their strategy is to like just what they do is they like memorize all these sequences of moves and stuff.
Magnus has been number 1 since 2011.
And how old is he?
He is 31. He was born 21 days before me.
Wow. And look at him. And look at you.
Became a grandmaster in 2004.
Wow, dang. Young. So, yeah. And there was all that all the Cold War weird chess things and
yeah,
stuff.
that was kind of weird.
Uh,
The Russians versus the
Gary
Americans.
Kasparov. And then they did when the computers could start beating everybody, Deep Blue and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, it just has a lot of like odd people.
Yes.
And that's sort of what I love about it. And
Fabiano Caruana.
yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think so. So what happened is they play these long games and where there's like no time limit, and they were either drawing or they had in total points drawn after all that. Well, then they go to speed
Blitz.
chess, and that is where
Rapid chess and World Blitz chess.
and that is where Magnus Carlsen excels, because these computer guys, they don't have time to like go through their computer program in their brain,
Mm-hmm.
They can't process it all. So they end up making a mistake.
He uses a variety of openings to make it harder for opponents to prepare against him and reduces the utility of pregame computer analysis.
Yeah, where Magnus Carlsen, he has one of those like a beautiful mind sort of things. It's like he's able to, absorb and change and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or,
It just brings up
What's the one with Tom Cruise and Sean
Kingston?
Penn?
Sean Penn?
Is that his name?
I don't know, but when you were saying Shardy, it got me thinking about Sean Kingston earlier.
Like a melody in my head. No, you know the one.
But way
The
too beautiful girl. I always think
picking
about
up
that.
toothpicks. Haynes 32
Oh,
drive
wait.
on Sundays.
You said Tom Hanks.
Did I?
I think so.
I didn't say Tom Cruise.
But yeah, Rain Man.
Rain Man.
And you didn't say the other guy right, did you?
I don't think so.
Dustin Hoffman. Wait, Hoffman?
Who's Sean Penn?
It's a different grizzled, ugly face guy.
What?
What do you like about? Why are you even following? So, anyways, Magnus Carlsen played this young guy,
Okay, they have very similar faces.
and this young kid who has admitted to cheating as a teenager.
Sean Penn was I Am Sam.
Yeah.
That's why I got my disableds mixed up.
I knew it. I didn't want to say it. But Magnus Carlsen played this young guy, and he's sort of a phenom and also a grandmaster, but also has admitted to cheating as a teenager in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And
When they play online or whatever, right?
yeah, when he was playing online, he admitted to cheating online. Well, they were playing an in-person tournament, and I can't remember if Magnus Carlsen got beat and then resigned from the tournament.
They did. There's one where they did a few moves and then.
Well, that was second, but I think at the tournament themselves, he might have lost, and then ended up resigning from the tournament. Put this clip up on Twitter, and said like, and it was like this video of somebody, I can't remember who's saying like, I could say what I want to say, but then I'd get in trouble. So it was basically like accusing this guy of cheating, but not really accusing. Well, they've done all this stuff in the past where people have had like cell phones and cheated. And because there's these programs where you can like look at what the moves are, but then they're trying to see what are sneakier ways that people can cheat. And I guess there was some video showing like how you could put a sensory thing like in your shoe,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly be given moves
Code.
through your shoe, if you feel vibrations and stuff like that. So that somehow morphed into like getting vibrations through anal beads rather than
because
shoes.
they like search you.
And I think they might have searched this guy's shoes, but the anal beads things was basically just was something crazy somebody said. But if you wanted clicks on your website, you'd be like, hey, did this guy cheat through anal beads? Which is like, no.
Clickbait.
You would have to learn Morse code in your booty hole. And there, I saw somebody being like, you might as well just memorize the chess moves instead of learning.
You ever seen those guys that
Morse code?
Have you seen the guys that still do the Morse code tapping?
Yeah, they're fast.
Yeah.
Real people who can do Morse code. But I saw one guy saying...
That sound makes me want to do like the 1920s transatlantic.
So I saw one guy saying that that AI is getting so sophisticated in the chess game that it's opening, like the younger players, it's opening them up to different first moves than all these
historical
strategies and stuff. Which is why they decided to play, Magnus Carlsen and this guy decided to play a match then online. And this guy, the younger kid, made one opening move and Magnus Carlsen just, boom, out. He quit. And then he released a statement like a day or two ago saying, or last week for everybody, saying like, I'm formally accusing this guy of cheating. Like, he said he's cheated before. I believe he's continued to cheat. I don't really have evidence, but what I do know is during my game, he played moves that nobody has ever played against me. He didn't even seem like he was focusing on the game.
Yeah.
And because the other guy was playing from black and basically saying like, nobody would play that from black and nobody can really beat me from black.
Because black is the second move, right?
Yeah. And so he's just saying it's all too weird for me. And this is a guy who's already said he's cheated. So I'm not going to play against him again.
Yeah. And he said he had more information, but he couldn't talk about it because then I think it might get into like defamation or whatever.
Oh, defamation.
So he didn't want to like blast him out and get into a legal battle, but it sounded like he had more information.
Yeah.
In the last paragraph. Because it said I can't talk about it without his permission.
Oh,
That's
right.
what he said.
Right. What
crazy.
Okay, how about this? Have you heard those things about like McDonald's has red and yellow in their restaurants because red and yellow gives you a sense of like urgency, quickness. They want you to come in, have your meal, leave.
Yeah. And like Australia or whatever has that nasty color green on their cigarettes to try to make people not buy them.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons they chose blue light for airplanes.
Kmart sales.
Taking off because it's supposed to give a calm feeling and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
But does that ring a bell? Do you ever get physical feelings from colors or anything like that?
I think there's...
We're in mood lighting right now, dude.
I know. I think there's like colors I like more.
But it doesn't give you a physical...
No.
Also,
but I feel like I do get a lot of physical things, but I can't think of something like that right now.
Yeah, put this in the comments if you feel like object. It gives you a sort of like, I don't know.
I think I get more reactions to physical stimuli, like
this thing you're doing.
Like, I don't know, like constricted clothing. Or something like that would make me...
That is an actual physical feeling.
Emotionally. It gets like the other way around.
Oh, emotional. Yeah, I can't really explain it, but that's what when we're talking about art, that's what I mean. It's like, to me, the rook thing is maybe like, it sounds corny because it's like, oh, a castle with straight lines gives you a sharp-edged, heavy, blocky feeling, but it's just like, I can't really explain what it is, but it's like I feel it in my whole body or something.
Yeah. Once I make my move, you're free to check the king. Run now.
If you're also autistic, put it in the comments of this episode.
Wait, who's autistic?
Me, I'm talking about my physical feelings from.
I don't think that's autism.
I don't think it is either. I think it's a sign of genius.
Yeah. Maybe it's, let's see, the rook, blockiness, straight lines. How do you feel about that painting that's like the red square, the yellow square with the black lines?
Didn't we look that up once?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. The red square.
We were looking up famous paintings.
Oh, the one that's more modern.
Yeah, it's like white with then there's like black lines, and some of the intersecting squares are painted yellow, red, and blue.
What do I feel about it?
Does that make you feel anything? What about dice? Does that make you feel anything?
Dice?
Yeah.
Well,
Little blocks, Legos.
Let me answer one at a time.
Or maybe as opposed to like a Basquiat.
I can't explain the one with the red and white and yellow squares and stuff like that. I can't explain this without it sounding real stupid, but it gives me like a modern, spacey, like,
As in outer space?
yeah. You know when people post that meme like society if such and such happened, it's like
if boomers could pronounce Chipotle correctly.
Yeah. It's kind of like spacey, but like almost, and this is why it sounds so stupid. It reminds me of like a subway or like a map or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a physical feeling that I can't really explain.
You've been posting a lot of architecture and postmodern socialist buildings lately.
I don't think I usually post some modern socialist buildings. But I do like looking at those. But I have been posting the Asian countryside art or photography. I just figured I need to put something on my stories.
Countryside. I feel like you're leaning more towards urban.
What I really like, and I think that's why I like Hong Kong so much, if you zoom out from Hong Kong City just a little bit, there's a bunch of green just all sitting right there. And that's what I really like. I like where
nature meets
nurture. Where where nature is mixed
the
with
road
city. Even though I don't feel that way about like Central Park, because I like it when it's sort of Central Park is just not too
about
square.
Wright Park.
Oh, in Seattle?
Nope, Tacoma.
Wright Park?
Yeah.
Which is that one?
The big Central Park looking one that has the atrium in it down by a stadium.
I don't know that much about it.
There's some fact about it that I can never find, so maybe I made it up in my head, but I could have sworn it was like in this like top biggest urban parks behind like Central Park.
Oh, really?
Or like it was somehow related to Central Park design or something like that.
What about this? Are you good at, I always thought it related to this. Are you good at packing things?
I feel
and
like
leaving no space? Like when you just move
Tetris.
Warren. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really good at that. And I think
men are better at that than women. I'll say it.
Sexist.
I'll say it.
Okay, let's do a few updates.
Just like they're better at swimming.
Let's do a few updates. I will add this to the post. Okay. On a couple episodes ago, I can't remember why I talked about this, but I am going to copy
Passport photo.
passport photo. I talked about one thing I like to do is if I get my picture taken for something official is make it the worst picture of all time. And for some reason, it just makes me laugh. Like if I ever have to show my ID for a drink or for this or that, to have the ugliest driver's license, ugliest passport photo, ugliest whatever. I don't know why. It just makes me laugh. Does it put me in a bad light for somebody to know, like, wow, you look great right here in front of me. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I now know you can look this ugly sort of ruins it for me. And I know that's a true fact, but I still don't. The humor is worth it to me. So this is my passport photo. And this passport photo actually almost made it so
for 10 years.
It makes it it made it so I almost did not get into Cambodia one time because people did not think it looked like me.
Did you do something with your face, like the muscles in your face when you did the photo? Around like right.
Oh man!
Did you do this a little bit or something?
No.
It's hard to tell because of the blue line.
I know, but I had to practice it. I practiced looking ugly.
It's funny.
Oh, man. I'll post it.
Yeah, I think you put your chin back a little bit.
And those glasses.
Did you wear those glasses just for that?
No, I had those. And I was like, why do we get these narrow lenses?
I had something like that too.
Okay.
You remember? Maybe we talked about this already. That I can't remember. Was his name Michael? What was his name? Remember the guy who did sound at church for a while, and he was like rock climber guy, really darkest black, thick beard.
Oh, rock climber guy. Oh yeah. That's
what was his name? Justin.
That is weird that you said that. I forgot about that guy. Matt will know.
Yeah, that guy. So remember he could grow like the full, completely black, dark beard in one day.
Uh-huh.
And so he was getting his license renewed or something. So he grew his beard out super, super dark. And then he went from like having the hair like me, like average male hair, and he shaved it completely skin.
Yes.
And then he did his eyes like this.
Yes.
He did like, it looked like full on stereotypical terrorist in his license photo.
That's funny. He was only there for not very long. But he was probably like one of the...
I wonder why.
He was probably one of the few cool people there, so he actually like stood out in our minds.
Everyone flocked to him.
Okay, I thought about this. This is probably my number one of like... It's like people think this person is attractive, but this person... does absolutely zero for me. Scarlett Johansson. I don't know why. Just absolute zero. Like 0.0 on the Richter scale, you know?
Oh, I don't know.
We were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I think she's attractive. Wasn't at the top of my list.
She's just up there for me. Let's see. Do we have any more update things? I don't get my boat. You don't remember what that is?
Still don't know. Get my boat.
Okay, we need
all with no spaces.
Okay, we need to wrap up this. Oh man, so many updates, but that mean nothing now.
No.
Okay.
Cambodian custom test boat.
Okay, let's wrap up this episode so we can do next week's episode. Next week, we'll bring you some different content. We have some things. We have some topics on the Notes app that I think you'll be into. So please, after a couple lackluster episodes, and I can't tell you why, after a couple lackluster episodes and some editing that was put off because of a tummy ache, we brought you this,
feel
which
like
I thought
those
was
were lackluster.
I do, but
Oh, I thought they were a natural conversation.
yeah, they were more.
It's because I was laying back too much.
Dude, we were drinking the lean, we were leaning.
Mm-hmm.
But
Let
anyway,
you show the lean. Let you show.
now we're
Is
just
that
gonna
Juice World.
We brought the heat this week, and we'll bring it next week. So please share with a friend. Please comment about boob mugs. Please comment about chest. Please comment
you
about
have any
if you have any
physical-
physical feelings. If artwork brings you a physical feeling,
Or chess pieces.
Or chess pieces, would you ever cry looking at a painting? Not because of the image you see, but because of the feeling it gives you. Anyways, any last words?
Luxembourg.